Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Choices, Finding Your Joy. I am your host, Paula Vail. Thank you for joining us today. I am so happy today to have with us Rayna Stiner. She is a freelance writer, Reiki Master Practitioner, and published author. She's going to be sharing some fantastic information today about a recent novel. It is called Bitsy. To begin, I'd like to say welcome, Rayna. I'm so honored.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you. You're so welcome. Please share with the viewers a bit about yourself and what inspired you to write Bitsy.
So, as Paula mentioned, I am a published author. My number one passion and joy in life is writing. I grew up in an abusive household, and one of my saving graces was journaling and writing. It really provided an outlet for me to use my voice so that I wasn't totally without some means of expressing myself in my youth. During some really traumatic experiences. So the older I've gotten, the more I've come to terms with being able to say out loud and say in public that I survived an abusive childhood. And that has become sort of a core story for me to share with the world. It's so important for us to be able to be open about that and to start talking about it so that the people who are committing those crimes against women and children can no longer live in the shadow of they can no longer live in the shadow of not being known. So it's really important for me to share that story. And as a lover of fiction, I naturally blended the experiences that I've had. I think we, as all writers do, blend our experiences in life with stories that come to us through our imagination. And for me, writing is really about channeling truth through fiction. So I was inspired to write Bitsy after my own survival and having to come to terms with the idea that if I was going to be happy, I was going to have to make a lot of choices to get there. And it was a slow process of pulling myself up by my own bootstraps and deciding I no longer wanted to have PTSD. I no longer wanted to feel anxious and under attack. And so I had to make choices to go into counseling and to talk about what was going on with me to get through that and to find joy in life and find those things that made me happy and then be able to do them. And one of those things is writing. Yeah. So Bitsy is a product of my learning how to make a choice.
Yes. And so tell the viewers out there, that may recognize some of these symptoms in themselves or loved ones or people they know. Mm-hmm. What would you say to them on choices they can make, things they can do when they experience or see those kind of circumstances?
So I am by no means a counselor or a psychologist. I am only a survivor. So I would recommend, as a fellow survivor, if you're have been through abuse, no matter what level that is or what sort of abuse that you've been through, and you're suffering from some symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder or anxiety and depression, you're having a lot of gut issues, or you're having a lot of trauma with not being able to think well, or those types of things, it's really imperative to go in and be able to speak with someone about what you've been through and about how it's affecting your life now, and what choices you can make to change your everyday life, your everyday choices that either make you a victim or make you a conqueror of your own circumstances. So absolutely, my first piece of advice is to get into a counselor and start talking to somebody about about what's going on with you and how you can change the here and now to find happiness. And that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self-awareness. And so my other piece of advice to people who are surviving from abuse is to be really patient with yourself. It's a process to go through. You don't wake up one day and say, I'm just going to be different. There is that, but you wake up every day and you decide, I'm going to be different today. And I'm going to choose to find the things that I'm grateful for and really hang on to those. Or I'm going to do something I really love, like a hobby that you love. For me, that's writing or exercising or painting, maybe, if you are an artist. Find some way to express yourself and to and then do that every day. Choose to do that every day. And then when you mess up or you have intrusive memories or you're a lot of what we're dealing with now as survivors is the whole Trump, the messages that Trump has put out there that are very misogynistic, and those can get into us, and then it sort of undoes some of the work that we've done to come to a better place. And so now we're given this excellent opportunity that sometimes feels like a huge challenge to answer back in love. And that includes love for ourselves. So if you're a survivor like me and you've been sort of thrown off guard by some of the new things that are coming out now with our president-elect, my best advice to you is to show yourself love and find a safe place for you to quietly be compassionate and caring for yourself, and keep going back to those things that have gotten you through in the past, that have brought you joy. Do the things you love. Surround yourself with people who care about you and can understand what you're going through, and that are compassionate towards you. So that would be my advice, especially for the here and now and what we're going through with our environment, the changes in our environment.
Thank you, Rayna. Tell the viewers what type of things they're going to experience and feel with reading your novel, Bitsy.
So Bitsy is not, it's not all light, because the journey that we go through as survivors is not all light. So some of the things that Bitsy, Elizabeth Varret, has dissociative identity disorder, which is oftentimes a result from trauma from abuse, particularly sexual abuse. So Elizabeth Varret has come through a childhood where she suffered sexual abuse, and she has, as a result of that, has two very distinct personalities. One is Liz and one is Bitsy. And Liz happens upon some magic, and here's where the fiction comes in for me. She's happened upon some power that gives her the ability to dole out retribution to people who are causing this sort of harm to other women and children. And so what you're going to experience in the book is some of her acting out, making those choices, which inevitably leads to her gaining more darkness onto herself. Because we all make choices that are not the most evolved, and so we end up suffering the consequences of those. And then when Bitsy learns what Liz is doing, then Bitsy is faced with the choice of whether she is going to allow this to happen, if she's going to team up with Liz and allow this retribution to continue to take place, or if she's going to serve her higher purpose in wanting to bring light into the world to combat the shadows of abuse, and really hang on to her talent and her music ability to kind of share joy with the world. So it's really Bitsy is really a philosophical discussion about what do you do with the power that you have, because we all have power once we've been through really traumatic circumstances that where we feel like our power has been taken away. But that's really an illusion. Yes, it was taken away from us in the past, but that doesn't mean that we're any longer in a place where we have no power. If you survived it, first of all, nice job. Yes. Good for you. I'm so proud of you for surviving it. And now you get a choice. And how do you move forward with that is what is sort of discussed in a fictional backdrop in Bitsy.
Oh. And, you know, it's so beautiful to share that, Rayna, that everyone has a choice. Mm-hmm. And that starts with today.
Yes.
And we can go so many different directions.
Yep. And it starts every day. Every day. And some days we're not going to make the best choice. In those days, you then have another choice. Do you let that bad day determine how tomorrow is going to be? Or do you shake it off and go, you know what, it was a bad day. I think I'll go ahead and forgive myself and I'll try again tomorrow. And that sort of patience is what we need when we're recovering from trauma. Just be really forgiving with yourself.
Loving yourself and forgiving yourself is such a powerful message. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah.
Rayna, I understand now that you are also very sensitive and intuitive. Mm-hmm. Share with us what that has been like for you.
So when I was a young child, I was 5, and the bad guy in my life came in to live with us. And the abuse began to happen pretty immediately after him joining our family. I was visited by an angel who came to me in the middle of the night and sang to me. It was actually around this time of year. It was Christmas, and we had been singing Christmas songs in the house, which we always love. You know, Christmas is my favorite time of year. I was really, as a 5-year-old, was really in a lot of fear because of some of the things that had already transpired. So this angel came to me and began to sing Christmas songs to me. And the songs were sang in a language I did not understand, but I knew the tunes. And so that one circumstance, that one experience has sort of shaped everything about my life. All of the experiences that I have had from that point forward, and maybe even before then, because I had already had, as a baby, had some experiences with angels that my mother told me about. But that experience was so layered in meaning. Not only was the angel providing a loving message that I was not alone, and that this Christ love, this beautiful Christ love, could save me from being absolutely destroyed by the trauma that was happening in my life. And also gave me the opportunity to recognize and embrace the ability to speak with angels, to connect with them for wisdom and for healing and for guidance. So I have always known that we are hooked into a higher power that is absolutely dedicated and committed to our betterment, and to helping us grow and raise ourselves in our vibration, and then to be able to emanate that love out to others. Has been that was the most beautiful, wonderful experience that set my life up to know that I could make it through anything I was going to go through. And it's been true.
Yeah.
Every moment. And now I have the opportunity with other people to be able to share with them and connect them with their angels and their guides and say, you're not alone. Not one of us is ever alone. It may feel like it sometimes. And whenever you feel like you're alone and you're lost and you're afraid and you think you're in the dark, just remember your angel is right there at your back.
Yes.
And they're ready to guide you and guard you and shine some light when you think you're in the darkness.
Yeah.
So
that is a beautiful message.
Yeah.
That's we are not alone in that. That really can bring us through so many challenges in life.
Mm-hmm.
It really can.
So Bitsy in the book also, because I see angels, the angels really conspired to bring around some circumstances to make sure that I wrote this book. And one of the things that they asked me to do was, before I sat down and started writing every morning, because I write in the mornings, is to meditate and to channel their energy and to make sure that the book was going in a direction that they wanted it to go. So Bitsy sees angels and she experiences angels, and they are an integral part of helping her through some traumatic experiences that happened during the book and guarding her and keeping her safe. So I really think it's important to understand that this divine energy, where angels come from and where your guides come from, and that we get hooked into when we pray or when we meditate, this higher consciousness or collective consciousness, it's an expression of who we are, and we are an expression of it. We're not alone. And when you recognize that you're already a piece of that, and that it is a piece of you, then you have this huge opportunity to exercise that power in bringing yourself up and feeling that love, and then expressing that out into the world.
Thank you, Rayna. Thank you. I love that. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the type of feedback that you have received so far from Bitsy.
So I've been pretty fortunate in being able to share the book with some people in the area, or friends of friends sharing the book with people. And most recently, someone came up to me after reading the book. They couldn't put it down. They tore through it in a weekend, and she just absolutely loved it. But the most important feedback that I heard her say was, in a group of people, she said, "And I'm a survivor." She said that, she offered that up without fear of what other people around her were going to say. And I high-fived her. I was so proud of her to be able to say, "I'm a survivor," and hopefully the people around her were able to say, "Wow, you went through some horrible something, and here you are today, a strong, amazing, courageous woman."
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to be able to congratulate ourselves for living through that stuff. Yes. And if you've gone through it, congratulations. Really, you should be commended, and you should recognize the own power and strength that you have, that you've gone through that and you've lived.
Yes. And there is support out there.
Absolutely.
Angels, others.
Mm-hmm.
Rayna and I support you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're never alone. The statistics are staggering. Unfortunately, we are not alone, and we're not even few and far between. The statistics are 1 in 3, and an estimated 1 in 3 women, and an estimated 1 in 6 men. So if you ever feel like this is something that is a burden that only you bear, that's not true. Yes. And so being able to be open about it and saying, "I'm a survivor," gives someone else the opportunity to say, "I am too. And can we talk about some things that, how do you deal with this? Or where have you found some inspiration to carry through? Or what's your tactic for dealing with whatever, intrusive memories?" Or when people say things about, silly old Trump and some of the things that he said, how do we deal with that? Well, we have friends and family that have gone through similar circumstances that are suffering in the same way that we are, and we're able to lean into them and say, "How are you dealing with this? And I'm going to pray for you," or "I'm sending you Reiki right now," because I know that which makes a huge difference for me is being able to lean into my light carrier friends and say, "Can you send me some Reiki and help me through this? This has been a trying day where I'm hearing a lot of this chatter."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell the viewers, Rayna, how they can purchase your books and perhaps your website and how they can get a hold of you if they have questions.
So my books are on Amazon. So if you type in the search engine, it's Rayna L Stiner. So the Stiner is Stiner. So if you type that into the search engine, this is Bitsy. That's the cover of it. So that's in Amazon, as is my other book. So if you type in Rayna L Stiner, you'll also see the book of Vail, which is another contemporary fantasy. And then you can look at my site and read my blog posts on RaynaLStiner.com. All run together, no symbols or anything. And then if you'd like to connect with me as a Reiki Master Practitioner or connect with your angels, I can be found at Reiki by Rayna, RAYNA.com.
Oh, that's it. Rayna, you are just an inspiration.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
So many.
Yeah. And I'm not that special, guys. If I can do it, you can do it too.
Yes.
I believe in you, and you're never alone.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And that is the message we want to share today.
Yes.
Absolutely. We are not alone. We are supporting each other. Rayna and I are supporting you. Anyone that has questions that would like to contact Rayna, feel free to do so. I am here as well. If anyone would ever like to contact me, we're just so happy to be able to share this powerful message, because really it's something that really isn't discussed.
Not as much as it should be.
Yes.
And so by me writing Bitsy, this was divinely directed that I needed to do this and that it was time. I don't know if you've ever tried to ignore angels talking to you, but it's not a great idea. You should probably listen and do what they ask you to do, because they only have your best interest at heart, and they have the best interest of all of our fellows at heart as well.
You are so with us.
Yeah.
Do you see any other novels in your future?
I am working on some epic fantasy novels right now. It'll be released as a series sometime in 2017. Fingers crossed.
Oh, we will be watching for those.
Yeah.
Well, we have to come close to closing. Any last words you'd like to say to the viewers today, Rayna?
Hang in there. We're all with you. We're all together in this. If you're really struggling with the atmosphere and how it is right now, and you're sensitive to this, you're not alone in that either. It's been really difficult for light workers especially. So we're here for you if you want to connect with us.
Yes. Oh, Rayna, thank you so much. This has been such an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And such an honor, everyone. I'm so grateful to have you viewing the show today. Rayna and I are just so thankful and grateful, and sending you love and hugs.
And Reiki too.
And Reiki too. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.